Hi guys, I know, long time no see again. Hasn't been as long this time, so there's that. It's only been about almost 2 months, but life happens, and that's exactly what's been happening over here. So since I talked to you guys last, I've been kind of training for a second job. If you're interested in hearing more about that, stay tuned to the end of the video because I don't want to crowd the very beginning with a bunch of just life crap. But I really haven't been doing that much stitching. I've been doing a little bit of crocheting just because crocheting seems to go quite a bit faster than stitching does. Plus it's that time of year. We're getting into that time of year. It's finally getting cooler here in New Jersey. I actually have two long sleeve shirts on right now. That's how chilly it's been. This morning I woke up and it was like in the 50s, which is crazy, but I'll take it. I'm not a summer person. I'm a sweaty people. I don't like summer, and I'm a summer baby, which you would think that I would, but I really don't. I hate summer. It's probably my least liked season out of the whole year. I will even take winter over summer. Yes, it's nice to get out of the house and do things, but I hate the heat, and the sun does not like me. I have super sensitive fair skin. I have had sun poisoning before, and it's just, yeah, me and summer just don't get along. Which, side note, I'm not sure if I ever told you guys this or not, my name was actually supposed to be Summer. Did I ever tell you that story? Yeah. So after telling you I wasn't going to talk about life stuff at the beginning of the video, here I am talking about life stuff. So, yes, my name was supposed to be Summer. And my name was Summer up until the point I was born. My dad took one look at me and he said, we cannot name this baby Summer. My mom was like, why? So apparently when I was born, my cheeks were so fat you could not tell that I had eyeballs. So my dad thought I was going to be a heavy-set kid, and he thought that that would just be like more fuel for the kids to tease me for. Like, I don't know if he was thinking like, oh, Summer, you're as big as the sun, blah, 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 something along those lines. So here I am, my name is not Summer. I really don't know. Like, I look at myself and I'm like, do I look like a Summer? I don't know. Of course, I'd probably be saying that if my name was Summer. Like, do I look like a Heather? But here we are. So yeah, I don't like summer. So I'm happy that the most wonderful time of the year is coming, and I'm talking about Halloween, not Christmas. Christmas is my second favorite, but Halloween will always have my heart, so... Anyways, I'll continue my life events story at the end of the video. So if you want to hear about that stuff, then stay tuned. For now though, let's get into the craftiness. I have my crochet in my lap right now. It's not finished. I thought, you know how you read like a pattern and it says like, oh, 4 skeins of this yarn and blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at the pattern and I'm like, this thing is massive. I don't want this thing to hang down by my calves. So I'm like, you know what? I bet I could cut this in half and only use like 2 skeins. Save a little bit of money, save some time. Yeah, that didn't happen. So while I don't feel like I needed all 4 skeins of this yarn, I definitely feel like I needed 3 of them at least, and I only got 2. So of course that means I'm probably not going to get the same dye lot because they're completely out of the yarn that I used at Hobby Lobby currently. So I'm sure when they get the next order in, it's probably not going to be the same dye lot, but I'm hoping that it's close enough that I can finagle it and make it work. So currently what I'm working on, I'm going to back you guys up a little bit. Currently what I'm working on crochet wise, oh look, you can see my fridge right there. That's a needle minder. Yeah. There's a bunch of needle minders up there, all up the top. Yeah, all needle minders. That's a makeshift needle minder board. That's what happens when your board that you have for your needle minders is no longer big enough to hold your entire collection. So anyways, this is currently what I'm making. It's gonna be like a cocoon shrug. I'm sure you guys have probably seen pictures of those. If you haven't, just Google it. You'll know what I'm talking about. This is a granny square one. As you can see, we got a little friend right in the middle there. So yeah, I ran out of yarn and haven't managed to get any more yet because Hobby Lobby is still out of it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw a little teaser that I put out there of what I was making. So I probably won't post another photo, another update photo until I get more yarn and can finish it. It really won't take me much time at all. That's what I like about granny squares. They're quick. They may not be the most fashionable looking things, but they are quick. So other than that, other than this crochet, I also picked up, which I have not picked this up in a while. I don't know, there's just something about it that, like, even now, I'm still struggling to work on this. And I don't know why, because I really enjoy the pattern. It's just not doing it for me right now. I don't know why. Anyway, the pattern I'm talking about is the Primitive Hairs Spooky Countdown. So the last time you saw this, I was, let's see if I can do this. I was like up here. So from here up, I had finished because I still have it on the Q-snap. So you guys aren't really gonna be able to see what the previous work was. If you're interested in that, go to my Instagram. It's the Springfield Stitcher, all one word, and you'll be able to see the previous, what it looked like previously before I picked it back up again. So this is where we're currently at. And I think, honestly, part of the reason I have trouble working on this is something that I did to myself, because in the pattern, the little frames around the little calendar days themselves, they are backstitched, which is what I'm doing as well. Originally, I was not going to do that. And I was like, no, that's going to look dumb if I don't do it. It's going to look unfinished. So I was like, you know, better do it. And it's not that I really hate backstitch, but backstitch compared to cross stitch, I mean, we're going to pick cross stitch every time, right? And honestly, I think that's what's really getting me on this one is I don't want to do the backstitch. And I changed my backstitch. I'm not doing it in the 310. I'm doing it in the gray, 535, I think it is. Yeah, 535. So the gray of the scarecrow. It's coming along. I'm gonna do a page finish on this and then put it away, which I still have quite a bit to go to get that page finish. I don't know, I feel like this page is bigger than the one I did previously, so anyway, that's where we're at. Oh goodness, the fabric that I did that on. I'm stitching it in the called for threads. The fabric is XJU Designs. Rustic Magenta maybe? It's something magenta. Anyways, so that's really all I've been working on since I started this new venture that I'm on. But I do have a little bit of haul. It's really not all that much. So we'll we'll just get into that. So the pattern you guys have seen before, this is Bright Needle Dollhouse. What you haven't seen is the fabric that I'm going to be stitching it on, which is a Picture This Plus. This is a 36 count in doubloon. So I wanted to make it look a little more prim. That, and I do not like white fabric. I feel like the only time I would use like a white or an ivory or off-white, something like that, would be for full coverage. I don't know, I just don't, it's too like, I don't know, bright, like shocking, like that's all your eye goes to. It doesn't really focus in on the design, which a lot of people I'm sure would probably say opposite. They would probably think, you know, no, it makes your design pop, but, or it makes your threads pop. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's too much. So same here with the pattern. You guys have seen this, I believe, in my last video. This is Elizabeth Sheffield, and this is from the Scarlet Letter. That was an eBay find. And what you haven't seen is the fabric. This is a Picture This Plus in truffle. It's a 36 count linen. I don't know, I just felt like this, they used like a brownish tan beigey fabric, and I don't know, I don't feel like the colors really pop on that fabric. I feel like they almost blend in. Of course, the picture that we're looking at here is the original piece that was stitched, so I'm sure it's been, what's the word? I want to say diluted, and that's not it. Faded. The colors have faded. So there's that one. This doesn't have a great photo on the front. This is Lucy Corbell Maynard by R&R Reproductions. I think I got this super cheap on eBay, and that's why I picked it up. But the picture's not great. Even in person, the picture is not, it's not real clear. So the little piece in the middle says, the daughter who loves her home will take a lively interest in all, as concerns and be solicitous to promote the happiness of the little circle of which she forms a part. All right. This is Sarah Ann Buck, and this is also an R&R Productions. So it says Sarah Ann Buck of Bristol stitched her stunning sampler in 1831 at age 11. It's a counted thread project adapted from the original sampler held by the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, Massachusetts. So again, the picture's not great, plus it's on that super dark fabric. And I apologize for the glare, but we are having a crappy day here in New Jersey. It's just been gushing rain all day. So the pattern says, the tears of the compassionate are sweeter than dewdrops. What does that say? Falls from roses on the blooms. Or falling, maybe. Sarah Ann Buck was born June 6, 1820. Ended this sampler in the 11th year of her age, August 22nd, 1831. Bristol Lucy S. Tinker, instructress. That's an interesting word. I can't say I've ever heard that word before. Instructress. Yikes. So this next one is Sunflower Samplings, Home is Best. And this was an eBay find. So I liked that one. Oh, my foot's already fallen asleep. Ow. Ow. Okay, so this is Strawberry Sampler from the City Stitcher. Looks like it has a lot of specialty stitches, which I didn't realize that when I bought it, but oh well, learn something new, right? This is the Four Seasons sampler from the Scarlet Letter. That was also an eBay find. This is the Liberty sampler from the City Stitcher. It says, "No man is free who is not master of himself. He only earns his freedom and existence who daily conquers them anew." This my mother-in-law got me. It's bookmarks. And it's on Aida. But the threads are there, so. All right, the pattern I believe you guys have seen. Yeah, I think so. It's Jardin Privé's ABC de la Brodeuse. I don't know. It's been quite a few years since I was in French class. So that's the pattern. And the fabric I will be stitching that on is the August Prim from Ship's Manor. When I stitched this, so if you choose to stitch it all as one piece, the thing is massive. It would be 76 wide by 565 high. No. I will be stitching this like it shows it here. Yeah. So, because I don't have any fabric big enough for that, and I'm not specialty ordering just for that pattern. Not that I don't like the pattern, but no. This, I am so happy I got. Of course, there's a sticker right in the middle of the design because, you know, why wouldn't there be? There we go. So this is Crown and Thistle Acorn Road. I loved this one. And this one is going to be stitched on the September Prim fabric from Ship's Manor. It's like a greenish gray. Eric from Ship's Manor is now making his own YouTube videos. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you should. He shows his fabric of the month and all that. Oh, these were, I forgot I even had these. I got these off of eBay. Limited edition Gentle Arts foliage. Some of they do have like a little bit more pink than I thought they would, which on camera they're showing up a lot brighter than what they actually are. Just think foliage, think fall foliage, because that's what these colors are. And the pink that's in it is not a bright pink at all, but you can definitely tell it's pink. So then I found this on eBay, and I thought this was really cool because it's not patterns or anything like that, but it's a pamphlet of like all the Scarlet Letter patterns that are out, and like they're all loose in here. So it's almost like catalogs, I guess, but they're not just catalogs because they have like the history behind the samplers. And I bought it basically for like reading material, and it was really cheap. And I'm secretly a history buff, but I have a lot of learning to do. Like, I know you guys have heard me say in a previous video that I would love to be a historian, but it's like being a food critic. Like, who tells you that you're a historian or that you are a food critic? Who judges that? Like, because, I mean, think about it. A food critic who tells you that you can be a food critic? Like, who tells you that your taste buds are above everyone else's taste buds? I mean, I guess I could see it like you're somebody who likes everything. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be repulsed by Brussels sprouts. But other than that, like, I just don't understand how that works. Who judges that? Who tells you that you are a food critic? You're good enough to be a food critic. I don't know. Do they do like the Gordon Ramsay? If you guys watch Hell's Kitchen, he used to have he probably still does it. He used to have the participants blindfolded, and then he would like spoon feed them food and they'd have to guess what it was. I mean, is it kind of like that? Is that how they determine who's a food critic and who's not? Like, is there a test for historians that are like, yes, the general of the army at this point in time, they had 25 guns, but did you know that his pants were blue? Like, who? I don't know. I'll have to look into it and get back to you. So another one that I found that I liked, and I struggle with this one because I really like it, but it's very 80s, early 90s. And I feel like I would change some things in the pattern, but overall, it like just captures everything that I want in my house. So it's the Country Kitchen from Homespun Elegance. So, of course, pie safe. Got the big open fireplace with like the cauldron here. I'll just call it a cauldron because I really don't know the technical term for those big pots they put over the open flames. But the lanterns, like, oh my gosh, give me this house. Where is this? So, but like the light blues, it's those light blues and pinks, I'm telling you, that are like, you look at it and you instantly know 80s or 90s. Like, those were big colors back then. And then lastly, I have, that is the last thing. So Country Stitches online. I should know this. I had to tell Chris of Criss Cross Stitcher, I don't know how many times, the name of this place to go to join this club. So it's, and I can't even remember the name of the club. I believe the website is countrystitchesonline.com. It's a club, and it's a collaboration between like the Scarlet Letter and Brenda Gervais and Heartstring Samplery? I might even have Brenda Gervais wrong. I don't know. There's 3 of them, and it's like a series that they did. I don't know. Anyways, this is the Scarlet House American Farmhouse. How cute is that? I'm glad I joined this club because normally I'm not into this kind of stuff because I don't know what they're going to be sending me. And I don't know if I'm going to like it, and I don't want to pay that money and find out that I don't like it. And I learned that from like signing up for the mystery stitch-alongs with Frosted Pumpkin and Clouds Factory. I got lucky the last 2 that I joined. I did like Clouds Factory more than Frosted Pumpkin. I don't know, I'm just not into the cutesy stuff anymore. But it comes as a whole kit, so there's that. And that's all I have to show in regards to cross stitch. If you are interested in hearing what's been going on in my life lately, sit back and let's have a chat. So, earlier this year, let's go way, way back. Okay, so earlier this year in February, I went for the first time to this place called Paranormal Books and Curiosities in Asbury Park, New Jersey. They were having, I'd been wanting to get there, and it's in Asbury Park. It's about 45 minutes from where I live. Of course, this was February, so I picked the perfect time to go to a beach town in February. But the reason that I chose to go at that time was because they were having a 50% off sale. So I was like, perfect opportunity to go, perfect reason to go. I've wanted to see this place. I've wanted to see what it's all about. So I grabbed my sister-in-law and we went down there because she says she's into this stuff, but it's like a lot of people say they're into things that, they might know a little bit about, and, they might watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, so they think that they're really into it. She's kind of all along that lines, but anyways, she's the only other one I know in the vicinity that I actually know that is interested in this kind of stuff. My husband couldn't care less. So I took her down there. I've never been there before. So we went down, and if you guys want to kind of take a look at what the store looked like at that time, I took pictures when we were there and I put them up on my Instagram account. The store doesn't look that way anymore. I mean, still relatively looks the same, but it's different. Anyways, so after we took that trip, a few months later, I would say probably around like April, I saw a post on their Facebook page that they were looking for a tour guide. So there was no real like application process or anything like that. It was literally like a instant message me, direct message me. So I did that, and I could see on my end that they read what I sent them, but I never heard back. So I was like, okay, it wasn't meant to be, whatever. Well, a couple months ago, I saw it again. And this time they actually did have like send, like apply here or whatever. And I did. So I get an email a few days later, and it's like a group email. And she says in the email, she says, hey, I was just sending out a group email. Instead of setting up individual interviews, I'm just gonna hold like a group meeting type of thing. Show up at the bookstore this time on this day. So I did. So I get there and I'm the first one there because that's me. I'm constantly afraid I'm gonna be late, and that's a huge pet peeve to me, people who are constantly late. And I don't know, it's just like, I feel like if I ever become that person, I'll just spontaneously combust into flames, because my body will reject the lateness, and that'll be the end of me. Anyways, so listen, when I was down there in February, there was snow everywhere. And luckily where I parked apparently was not metered space. Either that or they had not made it to my car yet, because I didn't have a ticket or anything on there. And being from small town Ohio, we don't have parking meters, okay? And the parking meters they have in Asbury Park, New Jersey, we definitely don't have. They're like super high tech. So I go down there for this meeting and I'm parking and I'm seeing that there are numbers, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, am I allowed to park here? There's no signs that say this is like permit parking. And I'm looking around and I finally figure out that, okay, I do have to pay for parking, so I go over, I see the little machine that they used for you to put your space in and pay for your parking and stuff. Well, lovely Asbury Park has different levels of parking. So depending on where you park determines how much you're gonna pay, which is like New Jersey in a nutshell. You're paying for convenience when you move here, because we're an hour away from Philadelphia. We're a 40-minute train ride from New York City. We're an hour car ride from the border of Pennsylvania. I mean, it's convenience. That's what we're paying for. So that's also what you pay for in Asbury Park. So the closer you park to downtown, or the closer you park to the water, the more money you're gonna pay. So I paid for my parking, and it was a Thursday, so again, days depend as well. So I really didn't have to pay that. I think I paid like, I don't know, $4 maybe to park. Anyways. So I go, like I said, I'm the first one there, and I go up and I meet with the lady. Her name is Kathy Kelly. And I didn't know who she was, you know. I mean, I just know that she owns this place, and if I'm getting hired, she's going to be the one hiring me. So I go up and I meet her, and, you know, she's talking to me a little bit about how long she's been in the business and what she does and all this, who her friends are, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with Adam Berry. I don't watch whatever show it is that he's on. Like, I had to limit myself because I would be watching everything, and I just don't have enough time in the day anymore to be doing that. So she's like good friends with Adam Berry, and like they do investigations together. And so in this bookstore, the second floor of the building is a paranormal museum. So items that she has collected or that have been given to her are housed in this museum, and she does tours there as well. So there are 3 tours. There's a downtown, there's a boardwalk, and there's museum tours. So what she's mainly interested in hiring us for is downtown tours. So, you know, it was nice because I got a little one-on-one time for her and with her, and she, you know, got to know me a little bit. And she's telling me, like, when she, back in April, had originally put out that post that she was looking for tour guides, she had 70 some people respond to her. So she went through and she set up individual interviews. Now, I didn't get an interview, so she couldn't have responded to everyone. So anyways, she went through all of this only to have 4 people show up out of 75. So apparently she did hire someone from that group, one person. She did hire, so then she was telling me that with this go-round, she had about 40 people interested, and by the end of the night, 3 of us have shown up. So I don't blame her for not doing the individual interviews, because it's a lot of time wasted, especially for people that just decide they don't want to show up. So that's essentially what I've been doing. I have been training to be a tour guide for the Paranormal Books and Curiosities in Asbury Park. I hopefully will be doing my own tours soon. I feel like I'm getting closer to being able to have my own tours. But I'll just say, like, I don't know if they're all this way, but tour guide training or applying, or whatever you want to call it, is different. Essentially, the way she's gonna have us do it is we're gonna just repeatedly take the tour, and she's just gonna call on us and be like, hey, it's your turn to tell this story, and blah blah blah. So the stories, it was, even if you're into this kind of stuff, which I am, not being from here, not knowing the history of the town, not even knowing my way around, because these are downtown tours, I'm walking and leading these people to the places that we need to go. I had to learn that. I had to learn the history a little bit of the town. I had to learn the stories that I'm supposed to be telling. And I did get to tell my first one this past Saturday. I've also been training for the Paranormal Museum. That's in the building as well. I will just say this. So the building that this store and museum is in is supposedly haunted. There was a death in the building of a small child, and they believe that's who haunts this place. I will tell you this. When I was training the first time for the Paranormal Museum, I recorded the session because there was no real documentation with trying to learn that tour, so I requested permission from the girl training me, who was giving me the tour, to record her so that I could have something to reference when I'm trying to learn these stories. So that's what I did. I let the recorder go the entire time. Now, when you go up there, there is a glass case with dolls in them. There is a part in the recording where Christina is the name of the girl. Christina's telling me that one of the dolls, she believes, has human hair. She says that. Right after she says it, I could hear, because I had my headphones in when I was listening back to this, just for this reason. I could hear what sounded to me like a little girl screaming no. Yeah, and I listened to it about 20 times to make sure that that's what I was hearing. Neither one of us heard this while the tour was going on. If I would have heard that, I would have said, hey, did you hear that? Or, hey, that was from outside. Or neither one of us acknowledged hearing this. And I'm still bitter about this. So in my infinite technological wisdom, while trying to isolate this to send it out to my boss to say, hey, did you hear what I hear? I recorded over it. I still cannot believe that I did that. Oh, God. And I have since recorded the training 2 times, and I haven't heard it since. It's just it's so annoying. It's so annoying. And like, it's like, even telling you now, like, I can only imagine how many people are like, yeah, sure you did, sure you heard that, which is how I feel if I were to tell my boss about it now. I told Christina about it, and she was like, you know, holy shit, like, no way, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but, you know, I don't have it anymore. And I feel like if I go to Kathy and I'm like, oh, by the way, I have this recording, but I don't have it anymore, she'd be like, yeah, sure, that's what you heard. And Christina was like, no, I mean, she would love to hear that you had some kind of experience. So I haven't told her about it yet, but because it's like, it's embarrassing. Like, I don't want to be one of those people that was like, yeah, I heard it, but I can't let you listen to it because it's gone now. Like, I don't want to be one of those people because I know what I heard. And, you know, I'm one of those people, I don't want to say that I'm sensitive, because that's such a broad term. But what I will say is when I'm up there, when I'm in 2 areas of this museum, I get super lightheaded, and it's over by the dolls, and they have a cauldron that sits in another area of the museum that's got a crazy story attached to it. Christina was leading a tour not that long ago of a group about 4 people, and I remember, you can actually go online, go to Paranormal Books and Curiosities, and the post should still be on there. It's from a few weeks ago, but this tour group came through, and every single person in this group felt something around this cauldron. One of them got very sick. Another had like her eyes roll back in her head, like crazy stuff, crazy stuff. I just feel like super lightheaded, almost like a fun house feel. That's what I feel when I'm around those things. And you could not imagine, since I've told people that I've, you know, and I hadn't really told a lot of people, but once they find out, because word gets around, Once they find out that this is what I'm doing, the question I get the most now is, aren't you afraid you're going to bring something home with you? And my answer to that is, I try not to think about it. And my boss's answer to that is, you're really not interesting enough for, like, and she's not just saying that about me, she says that to everyone, because it's a pretty common question, like, you know, what are the chances of me bringing something home? And that's her generic response is, you're just not interesting enough, don't worry about it. Which is a pretty good response if you ask me, but so yeah, that's what I've been up to. I'm still feeling some kind of way about it, because I don't know. I'm not officially hired yet, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's still kind of up in the air. It could go either way still at this point. And I don't know if I'm like the only one left out of the three of us that started, because I literally have not seen either of these people in probably a month. Like every time the past couple times there's been training, they have not shown up, or the training has been canceled, or so I don't know. But yeah, so that's, if you're ever in the Asbury Park area of New Jersey and you want to take a ghost tour, come see your girl. Yeah, that's really, I think that's about all I got. We're having issues with our neighbors. Like, there's nothing worse than a terrible neighbor. Like, so my husband is an extremely hard worker, and he works long hours. He works a very physical job, and he is really into making sure our yard looks really good. He will literally come home from working a 10-12 hour day and spend 2 hours mowing our 50 by 100 lot. Like, our yard is not big at all, but he cuts it, and he blows it, and he trims the edges, and he weed whacks, and you know, he does everything in his power to make sure our yard is like tip top, and it looks that way. You can look at it and tell that he puts a lot of work into it. Well, that cannot be said about our neighbors too. If you're looking at our house, they're the ones to the right of us. If you were to look at this house, you would think that if a stiff wind came through here, it would knock it to the ground. Now, having said that, you're probably asking, why in the hell would you move in to a neighborhood with houses that look like this? Okay, well, in my defense, that is the only house on this block that looks like this. When we moved into this house, we were under the impression that house was abandoned, and one of two things were going to happen. It was going to be demolished, or the guy that we bought our house from, that was a flip, told us that he had already sent them a letter requesting to buy their house so that he could flip it. So we were like, okay, well, one of these things, it's abandoned. One of these things is going to happen. Negative. Neither of those things happened, and about 6 months after we moved into our house, we finally started seeing people over at that house. When we moved in, there were never any lights on. There were no cars ever parked in front of the house. Like, it was desolate. There was nobody there. I could have sworn on the Bible that nobody lived over there. Yeah, we were wrong. So, these people are not pleasant people. You'll be lucky if they run a lawnmower across their yard 3 times a summer. When they do it, it's like the demolition derby out there. He's just like running it into like the house, and it's just, okay. So they've also had 2 tube TVs sitting upside down in their yard for probably the good part of a year. The trash is not going to pick these up. Do something with them. One of these days, man, you're gonna see me on FBI's Most Wanted. Lady goes ham on her neighbor, and the neighbors have not been seen since. So anyways, one day my husband was outside, and he's had run-ins with her in the past. One day my husband was outside working in the yard, he was finishing up, and when he blows the grass, he does kind of blow it all onto their property because you can't tell the difference. It looks like shit. So he has his headphones in. He's got his sunglasses on. I came out prior to bring him a beer, and I didn't know whether he was in front or out back, so I go down through the front yard, and I just so happened to notice that the neighbor is out on her porch, which she never does. And not only is she out on her porch, the way she's sitting on her porch is facing our property. What is so interesting over here that you feel like you need to stare? So I blow it off, like whatever. So I give my husband the beer, come back in, and I'm sitting in the room that I'm sitting in now. There's a big bay window right here that faces right out onto our front lawn. And this is where this whole confrontation took place between my husband and her. So my husband says that he comes in the house a little later and he goes, just got into it with the neighbor. And I'm like, over what and where? He was like, right out in the front yard. I said, I didn't hear a thing, because I would have come out and I'd have gone to jail, because I'd have told her I'd have laid her fat ass out. But that's neither here nor there. And please do not take offense to that statement. A, I am not a violent person. B, I'm just talking out my ass. And so he tells me about what happens, and he said that she came down off her porch and she was standing in the middle of her sidewalk on her property. Okay. Well, she was like standing there with her hands on her hips, and my husband just got tired of it. So he took his headphones out and he's like, is there a problem? And she said, I think you know what the problem is. Can I just tell you that to this day, we still don't know what that problem is? So they're going back and forth, and she apparently gets tired of dealing with my husband, because my husband gets to the point where he's not letting her get a word in edgewise. He just keeps telling her, mow your lawn, mow your lawn, mow your lawn. And she gets tired of it, turns around, goes to walk back in the house, and has the balls to tell my husband she feels he needs to get a job. You kidding me right now? Because this woman hardly ever leaves her house. Granted, I know I work from home, but the reason I don't feel like she has a job is because she's all up in everybody else's business on this block. And not 2 weeks after this whole situation happened, she had her car repoed. So who out of us needs to get a job? Oh God, she's like a hot mess. And we just had the neighbor across the street say the same thing. He was like, steer clear of that one because she's a nut. Like, yes, she is. So I don't know. I'm a person who believes in karma. She will get her just desserts, believe me. It's coming. So now she's spruced up the place by putting a couch on the porch. Like, there's literally a couch on their porch right now. I believe that she just moved her mother into the house with her. I don't know if it's her mother's couch. They just can't fit it in the... I don't know. I don't know. Oh, and I'm not going to go ask, but... yeah, so here's 2 awesome neighbors. I don't know. And that's not the only neighbor that we have issues with. Like, everybody on the block hates us because we tell people about themselves. Like, how about don't let your 3-year-old play in the middle of the street? Yeah, there's a kid on our block who's actually, let me take that back, because he would have been younger than this at the time. He was in diapers. My husband was coming home from work. He came around the corner, and our neighbor's kid sitting on a manhole cover in the middle of the street in a diaper. No adults around. Who does these things? Who does these things? I feel like if you're gonna do these things, maybe you shouldn't have kids. I don't know. So yeah, they don't like us much. That's all right though. Maybe they'll leave. So I feel like I've rambled long enough, especially since only half of this video was stitching or crafting of any sort. So I'm gonna sign off before this gets any longer. So until I see you guys next time, happy stitching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.